Lesson 4.2 Part 2 brings together my favorite kind of problems, and of course that's the real world situation problems. So you can model real world situations that involve a constant rate of change, and we can write it in slope-intercept form. For example, your gym membership costs you $33 per month after you pay the initial membership fee. You paid a total of $228 after 6 months. They're asking us to write an equation that gives the total cost as a function of the length of your gym membership. So it's going to end up being y equals mx plus b. We know that. In this case, the y is going to be the cost, and the x is going to be the months. And it's important that we know what the x and the y are because we're going to come up with a point. First, the rate is $33 a month, so that's our slope. And second, the point is for 6 months, the cost is $228. Well, now this takes us right back to the problems that we did yesterday. So I can go ahead and find the equation by going y is 228. That equals m, 33 times x plus b. So 228 equals 198 plus b. When I subtract the 198, I get a 30. So that's my y-intercept. And in fact, that's how much that initial membership fee, the initial anything for the line, is the y-intercept. So y equals 33 x plus 30. So there's the equation. Next, they're asking us to find the cost after 9 months. So y equals 33 times the 9 months plus 30. 33 times 9 plus 30 is $327. So after 9 months, it's going to cost you $327. Next, oil changes. You are scheduled to start your job at an oil change shop 2 hours after the shop opens. So we're going to say it opens at the 0 hour and you start at hour 2. Now 2 hours after you start, so that's 4 hours after the shop, there's 11 cars that have gone through and had an oil change. 3 hours later, so that would be 7 hours now since the shop opened, there's 14 cars. At what rate are the cars getting their oil changed since you started working? So we are looking for the slope, the rate of change. So my slope is, I'll do 11 minus 14 over 4 minus 7. That gives me a -3 divided by -3, which is +1. So it says at what rate? Well, it's 1 car per hour. Seems kind of slow. How many cars had their oil changed before you started work? So that would be 2 whole hours before you even got there. So we're looking to see, well, what is it if x equals 2? Well, first of all, I guess we need to write the equation because I don't know what the y-intercept is. So I need to backtrack a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and use the first point, and I know that y is 11 equals m, x is 4 plus b. So 11 equals 4 plus b. Subtract the 4 and you get a 7. So my equation for this oil change problem is y equals 1x, or just plain old x, plus 7. Now I can go back to this portion and figure out, well, how many oil changes were done in the first 2 hours? So I'll go y equals 1 times the first 2 hours plus 7. So y equals 9. So how many cars? 9 cars had it changed before you started work. One last problem. Motor vehicle licenses. The amount of revenue, which is money brought in by states from motor vehicle licenses, increased at a relatively constant rate of $499.79 million per year from 1990 to 2000. In 2000, the states brought in $15,099 million in revenue from motor vehicle licenses. So this is the constant rate. We know the constant rate is the slope. So up here I'll write down that the slope is 499.79. Now I know that's in millions, but I only care about this 499.79. It says in 2000 they brought in 15,099 million. Well, the year 2000 is the 10th year after the initial year 1990. And that year brought in 15,099 million. That's just a weird number to say. Okay, so now part A. It says, what's the approximate revenue in millions of dollars in 1990? So we're looking for the money brought in basically in year 0. So that's going to be the y-intercept. So I will use the 15,099 as my y equals m. X is 10 plus b. So 15,099 equals 4,997.9 plus b. When I subtract that, 15,099 subtract 4,997.9, I get 10,101.1 for the B. So part A was the approximate revenue in millions of dollars. It's 10,101.1, I'm sorry, $10,101.1 million. That's a lot of money. Part B, they want us to write the equation. Well, yay, we have everything we need to do that. So y equals, m is 499.79, x plus b is 10,101.1. And finally, part C, they want to know what the revenue is in 1990. Well, 1990 is year 9. So we just go y equals 499.79 times 9 plus the 10,101.1. So 499.79 times 9 plus 10,101.1 gives me a grand total of $14,599.21 million. So if you multiply this by 1,000,000, that'll really show you how much money that is. It is a significant amount brought in just from getting your license plates renewed. All right, another short and sweet one. Here is your assignment, lesson 4.2, part 2, page 236 to 239, problems 9, 10, 30, 32, 34 to 43, and 48 to 52.